Hi everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in to today's video interview. I'm Tony Restel from Social Hire and delighted to be joined today by Carol Cohn. And we're going to be talking about having purpose as a business strategy. So Carol, thanks very much for joining today. Would you like to just start by telling people about yourself and your company, what it is you do, and then we'll dive into today's questions.
Sure. Thank you, Tony, and thank you for this opportunity. I am one of the pioneers of purpose as business strategy, and my company's name is Carol Cohn on Purpose. It is my third entrepreneurial venture, and I have been working in the field for over 40 years. Started really young, and what we do is we help companies and brands discover their purpose, their reason for being, and then most importantly, we help them to activate it in an authentic way.
Great. So let's dive into that a little bit more. What is this business strategy called Purpose? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. 40 years ago, companies engaging with society, doing more than just making a product and a service for a product, they called it cause marketing. So enrobing yourself, such as the American Express Company with their Statue of Liberty Restoration Project in 1983, use the card and a penny goes to the restoration. That was a radical way of going to market. Over the 40 years that followed, you evolved. And so we started calling it cause branding in the 90s so that companies wouldn't just do a periodic promotion that was cause related. They would take a social issue or a cause and make it part of their complete brand or organizational ethos. Then it's evolved to sustainability, how a company engages in terms of the environment and its sourcing issues and its supply chain. It's also called triple bottom line. It's called many things. Today we call it purpose, and that's been a term that's been around for about 10 years. And it's an organization or a brand's very high reason for being beyond the bottom line that we say it's based in humanity.
Fascinating. And how does a company or a brand,
Yep.
How does a company or a brand actually go about identifying and activating what their purpose is?
For decades, we have promoted that purpose is a business strategy. It is not the nice day of volunteerism or the philanthropic donations or grants that a company makes as part of the many things it does. Purpose, when it is truly understood, it is at the center of what a company's brand and ethos and culture stands for. We have a process called P3. And it is something that we have developed over 30 years. Many organizations have adopted our process, and it's a very thoughtful way of unpacking the history of a company. What are its objectives for understanding its purpose? Who are its audiences by level of priority? What are the company's assets? What is it trying to accomplish both as a company and in society? And we look at all of those things through a funnel. We have a lot of very senior individuals working on that. So they've been doing the work for years. And so they listen. We do lots of questions. They also do a lot of research. And then they tie the components together to find that unique statement, that reason for being, that's the North Star, that then helps a company to develop its culture, its values and behaviors, its approach to innovation, its approach to product development, its relationships key to its employees, and then how it will engage in something very distinctive that's aligned authentically with all of its core attributes, that it's going to have an impact on society and or the environment.
And I imagine that, a business's team, its employees are absolutely key in achieving this. So how do you go about actually, engaging the employee base in getting behind whatever the purpose is?
Well, I love the fact that you brought up employees, because 5 or 6 years ago, it was, we'll tell the employees what we're doing. That is not the case today. Employees are the engine, are the core stakeholder of a company. We have been talking about this for 20 years and it was really lonely out there. Nobody really believed it, but I believed it. When you're developing your purpose, talking with your employees, having focus group with your employees, getting the feedback, having them actually to craft and to edit what the purpose statement is, they are the number one stakeholder because they have to believe that it's authentic and they have to be part of the process. Then once you develop a statement and Airbnb, their statements belong. The Kerry Group out of Ireland, their statement that we developed is inspiring food because they're a food ingredients company, but nourishing life. The two parts, where do they source their ingredients? What's their role with the environment and society? You can have, I love the one from Mars. The world we want tomorrow is how we do business today. And so those purpose statements, they're not just laminated on a wall. We say live, not laminated. And they start coming to life through the employee engagement. The first and most important place once the purpose statement is clearly and crisply defined is how does it ladder down to your values and your behaviors? Because the company then needs to lean into its purpose and truly bring it to life. And you go and you work with your employees to identify those values and behaviors. You then develop recognition programs that capture an employee doing those behaviors. You get into comprehensive storytelling, inviting your employees because they have incredible social networks. Some of the companies we work with, for example, the Whirlpool Corporation or Quest Diagnostics, they have 30, 40, 50,000 employees around the globe. And when they believe your purpose, they've been part of the journey, they will then share those stories and it creates a virtuous circle, which is wonderful for bringing someone's full potential to work as well as for recruitment and retention.
Fantastic. Carol, I imagine we could talk about this for hours and hours, but for people who are watching who would like to find out more, what's the best way they can get in touch or find out more about the business?
Sure. It's really easy. It's Carol, C-A-R-O-L, no E, C-R-O, at Carol, Cone on Purpose, one word.com. For 40 years, I've been helping to educate the entire world about purpose. I also, please go to my podcast, Purpose 360. We've done over 150 shows. I do them as my passion project to help all sorts of professionals, students, employees really embrace this strategy called purpose. It is so important that companies and brands have the emotional and authentic tie to their core stakeholders. And so please reach out. We love to, what I always say is when I meet somebody, the worst possible case, I made a new friend. And from there, everything goes up.
Terrific. Carol, thank you very much for your time today and hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Bye for now.
Thanks very much, Tony.